The woman lay on the ground numbly. Overnight, she lost all her family members. Now she was about to be humiliated by a tyrant, feeling helpless. She closed her eyes, ready to accept this tragic fate. Suddenly the tyrant spat out a mouthful of blood and muttered, "No honor among thieves." And then he died just like that. I am Sword Sovereign 5th Elder Su North. Would you be willing to become my disciple and join the celestial sect? Xiao Ruoqing stared blankly at the handsome man in front of her. Now she finally understands why she ended up here. She actually reincarnated. In the previous life it was the same. A man saved her when she was most desperate. Then she regarded the man as her everything in life. But it wasn't until the day she was forcibly treated as a tool by the man that she understood. The reason why the man took her as an apprentice and spared no effort to cultivate her was to obtain his own innate Tao body. Xiao Ruoqing buried that deep hatred in her heart. She knelt down with a thud and directly worshipped Su North as her master. Only in this way could she have the opportunity to obtain a large amount of cultivation resources to avenge herself and her parents. But what she didn't know is that the Su North in front of her now is not a person from this world. Su North awakened a disciple receiving system after crossing over from Earth. Only if he cultivates his disciples, he will be able to gain a 1,000-fold return. So in order to lay back and relax in the future, he must find an intelligent, sweet-looking female disciple who can also wear silk stockings. Su North searched for a long time, and finally found one with great difficulty. Unexpectedly it went so smoothly. This time he gained a lot, and Su North is very satisfied. You should go back to the sect first and continue cultivating. Once you have achieved success in your cultivation, I will personally accompany you to seek revenge today. In midair, Su North is leading a woman back to the sect on a flying sword. On the way, Su North wants to establish a good image in front of the disciple. He said, "In the future, you must work hard to cultivate because there aren't that many occasions in this world where heroes can save the damsel in distress." But the next moment, Xiao Ruoqing pointed down at the woman who had just been rescued. Su North, who was slapped in the face, once again said that cultivation must be down to earth, and one should not think about reaching the sky in a single step. Haha, I finally obtained the 18-long subduing palms technique. Xiao Ruoqing then asked, "Master, what is this 18-long subduing technique?" Su North, who was embarrassed once again, quickly changed the topic. He mentioned again that the most important thing on the path of cultivation is to stay alive. So you need to live well and cultivate well for your teacher. Xiao Ruoqing nodded, feeling how silly the villain has become. When the two arrived at the sect, they had just entered it. The two heard the screams of a group of female disciples. Su North is very distressed. Why do you shallow people only focus on my handsomeness when my strength is also super strong, right? Under the gaze of a group of female disciples, Su North and Xiao Ruoqing have already arrived at Swordless Peak. This is a peak exclusively belonging to Su North. Just back to Swordless Peak, before he could explain what to do next, he was informed by a female disciple that the Grand Elder wanted to hold a meeting. Helpless, Su North had to let Xiao Ruoqing wander around Swordless Peak for a while first. Master needed to attend a meeting and would be back shortly. Also, remember to never touch the small bottle on my desk. After saying that, Su North leisurely headed towards the main peak. Su North felt something was wrong as soon as he arrived at the entrance of the main hall. He felt an inexplicable sense of crisis surging up in his heart. Suddenly, someone from behind hugged him tightly. "Little North, you're finally back. I heard you've taken a new female disciple. Are women outside fun?" The woman held Su North tightly by the neck, causing his face to instantly turn red with the mention of two huge mountains. "Big senior sister, please let go. I can't handle it anymore, I'm almost choking." The woman tightly hugged the man's neck, and the two large headlights in front of him made his face turn liver-colored instantly. At this time, the hot-bodied second senior sister quickly stepped forward to stop them. She wanted us to pay attention to our image. Big senior sister ignored it and instead hugged even tighter. This made second senior sister furious. Sixth junior brother, who was completely drunk, started laughing and watching the show. This made second senior sister, who was already angry, even more furious. The next moment, sixth junior brother's face was gently stepped on the ground. Fortunately, at this moment, big senior sister stepped forward to mediate, while Su North secretly rejoiced at being rescued at last. Later, big senior sister returned to the main topic. The main reason for calling everyone here this time is that there is only 1 month left until the once in 50 years recruitment ceremony of the Sword Sect, which is crucial for the future foundation of the sect. Therefore, this task must be undertaken by someone with strong abilities, and who is highly popular among the disciples. Xianxia believes that this matter is best entrusted to him. She is seizing this opportunity to expand the strength of our sword peak through this recruitment. By then, the next sect master will undoubtedly belong to me, Xianxia. But the next moment, Big Senior Sister directly handed the task to Su North. With such good looks, not recruiting more female disciples would be a waste. Upon hearing this, both Su North and Xianxia spat out the red bean milk tea from the night before. At the same time, Xiao Ruoqing ignored Su North's warning and actually finished off in one go the mutai that Su North had carefully brewed for 49 days. Xiao Ruoqing, feeling hot all over and with a flushed face, lay on the ground. At this moment, the door was pushed open, and in walked a strong humanoid rooster. This is the phoenix-feathered chicken that Su North has raised for decades, diligently cared for daily, and is on the verge of becoming the chicken god. But on this day, this chicken unexpectedly intended to act inappropriately towards a woman. When Su North returned and saw this scene, her face darkened instantly. Brother Chicken hurriedly explained that he was just helping to look after her. Suddenly, Su North keenly sensed something. This little girl actually drank all the moutai, which is fine, but you, this cunning chicken, also want to rebel after becoming clever. Later, Su North carried Xiao Ruoqing to the bed. The chicken felt guilty and quickly found an excuse to slip away. Due to being drunk, Xiao Ruoqing looked even more charming. Su North looked at Xiao Ruoqing's slightly torn clothes and thought of Xiao Ruoqing's past experiences, feeling a sense of self-blame. So he quickly took out his favorite uniform and first helped Xiao Ruoqing sober up. Then he busied himself for the rest of the day. He finally dressed the woman in the last white silk. Just then, the passing sixth elder smelled the strong aroma of alcohol and thought that the moutai liquor was ready. He casually pushed open the door, ready to take the moutai that Su North brewed for him. He happened to see Su North's restless little hands. Unexpectedly, senior brother turned out to be good. June No Evil quickly saluted and left in a panic, giving senior brother a chance to enjoy. He said he would be back in a minute. Su North looked confused, realizing it later. He hurriedly chased after him and kindly explained. June No Evil started to complain, feeling disappointed that his mutai was gone just like that. At this moment, Xiao Ruoqing was awakened by the arguing voices of the two. After waking up, Xiao Ruoqing looked confused and suddenly realized that his clothes had been changed. I have never seen this clothing before. Could it be the new disciple attire of the sword sect? He felt quite comfortable wearing this outfit. Xiao Ruoqing looked at the empty bottle of moutai beside him and thought, the big boss will definitely be angry later. I need to come up with a solution. At that moment, chicken appeared in Xiao Ruoqing's eyes. So, the big pot couldn't fit chicken in. A moment later, Xiao Ruoqing walked out with a steaming pot of chicken soup. She also thoughtfully served Su North a small bowl of chicken soup. Su North looked at the delicacy in front of her and thought that this disciple did not disappoint. He has time to set up a pair of black stockings for her to try on. Xiao Ruoqing noticed that Master's expression was not right, so she lowered her head and asked him what was wrong. Master quickly drank the soup. But Su North had no intention of drinking soup. He had feasted his eyes long ago. On the side, June No Evil snatched the chicken soup and gulped it down. Senior brother, you actually gave me the phoenix-feathered chicken soup. That's too generous of you. I'll forgive you for the moutai incident. After finishing bowl after bowl of June No Evil, he quickly finished all the chicken soup. June No Evil left contentedly after eating and drinking his fill. Early the next morning, Su North then once again dressed disciple in a gorgeous maid outfit. The female disciple who cursed me to die just a second ago. But the next second she was wearing a maid outfit and squeezing my leg. Just a few minutes earlier, Xiao Ruoqing was cleaning, and she inadvertently found a peerless sword manual in the corner. Xiao Ruoqing's face was full of joy, thinking that this must be the sword sect's secret that had been lost. As long as she cultivated diligently in the future, revenge would be just around the corner. However, a hand suddenly appeared and snatched away the sword manual. She turned her head and surprisingly saw her own master Xiao Ruoqing with a reluctant look on her face, gazing at the sword manual. After a quick glance at the name Su North, she said, "Isn't this the scrap paper I used to prop up the foot of the bed? Do you really want to practice such a common technique in arts? There are plenty of technique and arts in the library that are more powerful than the sword manual." Xiao Ruoqing's eyes lit up at the words. She immediately clung to Su North's thigh, begging the master to help her find a more powerful technique in arts in the library. Just for this softness, Su North immediately agreed. Later, Su North arrived at the library. As soon as he stepped in, Su North was stopped by a woman holding a sword. Senior brother, 2 years ago you mentioned with a single blade of grass in your hand, you can cut through the vast universe. I still haven't comprehended it. Today I ask senior brother to explain it clearly. Xianxia's words attracted the surrounding disciples to gather around. Su North looked at the brainless martial maniac junior sister in front of him. Su North also felt a bit of a headache, thinking to himself, how would I know how to use a blade of grass to slash through the sun, moon and stars? I'm just annoyed by your nonsense chatter. Su North looked at so many people. If he does not have a reasonable explanation, then his lifelong reputation will be ruined. He had to bite the bullet and blabber nonsense again. Luckily I held back a bit last time, otherwise, if the heavens did not give birth to me, Su Sword Sovereign, the sword path would be eternal darkness throughout the ages. If these bastards get provoked this time, there'll be no way to smooth things over. Junior sister, senior brother will give you some guidance today. A life is but a fleeting flame. Like autumn leaves all end the same. The world's vast matters rise and cease. Yet one lone sword restores the peace. This is the sword path I have realized. I, Su North, wish that all sincere swordsmen in the world can cut through the heavens with one sword. With a single sword strike, the entire world is filled with swords. Xianxia is carefully pondering Su North's words. He knows that his fifth senior brother has a deep understanding of the sword path, despite him possibly being at a lower cultivation level and stage. Just talking about his accomplishments in the sword path. The fifth senior brother is very likely already on par with the master, so every word he says definitely carries meanings that he himself cannot fully comprehend. So Xianxia picked up the sword in his hand and began to ponder. Su North took the opportunity to slip away while she was pondering, fearing that she might get entangled again. He thought to himself, as soon as he acted tough, he would run away. This kind of feeling is truly exciting. Not long after, Xianxia directly advanced from the earlier nascent void stage to the middle nascent void stage. At this point, Su North arrived at the library and looked at the various techniques and arts, falling into contemplation. He was at a loss because he didn't understand cultivation at all, so he didn't know how to choose which techniques and arts were good. Su North casually picked up a book titled, The Protagonist Must Cultivate a Technique, and started flipping through it. But suddenly he felt a chill down his back, as if there were a pair of eyes staring at him. But other than me and ninth junior sister Shan Wulan, who is cold and aloof, there is no one else guarding this pavilion. It's also impossible for her to be Su North. Forget it, let's bring back the technique and arts first. Since this technique and arts can enter the library, it's definitely not ordinary. Shan Wulan arrived at the place where Su North had just been reading. When she saw the title of the book was Taming the Cold-Hearted Junior Sister, Shan Wulan's cheeks instantly turned bright red. The cold-hearted junior sister, isn't that me? Could it be that senior brother admires me? The girl bowed to her life-saving benefactor and asked to be her teacher. She was determined to crush master and destroy all hopes. Just because Su North from the previous life noticed his innate Tao body. He took her as his disciple only because he noticed her innate Tao body, and he not only trained her into a furnace, collecting supplements day and night, in the end even her Tao bones were dug out by him. In this life, Xiao Ruoqing is reborn and swears to crush Su North to dust. However, Su North is also a time traveler. Never would he have thought that the female disciple assigned to him by the system would actually plot to betray her master and destroy her sect. While Su North was at the library looking for technique and arts, Xiao Ruoqing was completely engrossed in cultivating the sword manual with great interest. During that time she was cultivating with full concentration. Su North suddenly appeared behind her and walked over. By this time, Su North had already returned with the technique and arts book. "Disciple, come and see what good thing I have prepared for you," said the master. The protagonist must cultivate a technique. This book, Technique and Arts, is a rare and amazing skill that your master has searched through countless books to find for you. It's absolutely incredible, so make sure to treasure it and not disappoint your master's hard work. The text on it says that if a cultivator's luck is bad and their Taoist heart is not strong, they will die. Su North gently patted Xiao Ruoqing's forehead and said, "Do you still not trust me? How could I harm you?" "Trust?" Xiao Ruoqing's expression instantly changed. "Are you treating me as a tripod? You are still digging into my past because I trusted you, a false gentleman, in my previous life." Su North noticed that disciple was full of murderous intent, thinking that disciple was anxious to ask Su North to teach her techniques and arts. So he quickly comforted her, saying, "Don't worry. First, you should take some time to contemplate this technique and arts." Immediately, Xiao Ruoqing opened Technique and Arts and started reading. However, after she saw the contents of the book, Xiao Ruoqing couldn't help but wonder if the secret of her rebirth had been discovered. So she hurriedly found an excuse and tried to probe Sue North, but she didn't find anything unusual from Sue North's words. Sue North bestowed initiation on her in order to help her disciple enter the road to immortality earlier. The powerful vital qi made Xiao Ruoqing desire for immortality and death. This scene happened to be witnessed by 8th Elder, who came to seek advice, becoming an unforgettable moment in his life. Senior brother, how could you do such a thing in broad daylight? Is there any problem with the blocked area that needs to be resolved by me? Junior sister blushed. This time she came just to thank senior brother for his guidance before, which enlightened me and helped me to break through in my cultivation level. After some formalities, the two of them exchanged pleasantries. The keen 8th Elder noticed that junior disciple Xiao Ruoqing was wearing different pants than before, so she asked senior brother what it was. This is the ice silkworm silk pants I made, senior brother. Not only are they lightweight, but they are also comfortable to wear. It's really a rare and good item. 8th Elder immediately wants one upon hearing this. As a senior brother, Sue North naturally would not be stingy. He immediately took out a black silk ribbon and gave it to junior sister. In the blink of an eye, 8th Elder had already changed. Senior brother, this pair of pants is so comfortable. Is it that once you wear pants you don't need to wear skirts anymore? The girl admires her savior and regards him as her mentor. She, however, is single-mindedly set on ruining her master. Just because Sue North from a past life was fond of his innate Dao body. He only accepted her as his disciple because of her potential to be molded into a furnace. He collected supplements day and night, and in the end even her Dao bones were dug out. In this life Xiao Ruoqing is reborn and swears to crush Sue North to dust. However, Sue North is also a time traveler. He never expected that the female disciple assigned to him by the system would actually want to deceive her master and destroy her ancestors. At this time, the 8th Elder had already changed into the pants given by Sue North. After Sue North saw 8th junior sister being so helpful, he sprayed blood from his nose as a sign of respect. Brother will find you a suitable set of clothes. Later, 8th junior sister changed into the Fiora, the grand duelist skin that he gave her. Junior sister looked at me with admiration on her face after changing. I didn't expect senior brother to be able to make such good-looking and comfortable clothes. Truly deserves to be my admired senior brother Loki Loki. By the way, you just mentioned that big senior sister was looking for me, right? He then opened the letter written by big senior sister and saw the words on the envelope. Due to the tight budget of the sect, we need the organizing committee to solve the funding issue. He immediately planned to fully armor himself and go find big senior sister to discuss and reason with her. Even if big senior sister were to stomp him to death with one kick. But for the sake of the sect's great cause, even if he were to die and vanish, he would spare no effort. Senior brother, you should still save some. The bun shop at the foot of the mountain. Haven't seen big senior sister in over 20 years. What does her money look like now? Sue North heard this and was directly stunned, feeling that she is still too young. Didn't expect the situation to be so complicated. Now only junior sister's soup dumplings can heal my wounded soul. Senior brother, what's wrong with you? Why do you look so distracted? It's nothing. I was just thinking about the bun shop downstairs. Children can't see or know what's inside the buns. It should be pork filling. Upon hearing this, Sue North instantly had an idea. Just turn the celestial pig that I raised in the back mountains of Swordless Peak into Xilong Bao. Then the funds will come, right? At the same time, Xiao Ruoqing was flipping through the technique and arts given by Sue North. When she saw the content in the book, she was so angry that she was trembling. The big villain actually used this lousy book to mess with me. Sue North, you wait. After I have mastered the sword manual cultivation, I will definitely tear you into 1,000 pieces, crush your bones and scatter your ashes. Sue North entered at this time and said, Disciple, stop practicing for now. Help master count how many celestial pigs are on the back mountain. Xiao Ruoqing was taken aback at the words. Isn't the back mountain where the ancestral graves are located? Sue North is actually raising pigs in the ancestral graves of Swordless Peak's past elders. Right, it's getting dark soon. Remember to bring a torch for illumination. But be sure not to count incorrectly. Ancestor's grave torchmaster, it was your idea. Don't blame your disciple for being clumsy. If a fire burns the ancestor's grave, you'll be sent to face the wall for several decades. After finishing the arrangements, Sue North will come over to hold a meeting. The second elder in the main hall of the sword sect is still working hard to recruit new students. Junior brother, listen to sister's advice. The recruitment meeting is quite complicated. If you can't handle it, let sister take care of it. Sister can handle it. You sound very confident. The thriving sword peak under my governance is the best proof. Su North chuckled secretly at the words, thinking, "Is that all? How can I just let you have such a perfect opportunity to recruit female disciples? If I don't take advantage of this chance to recruit some top-tier talented female disciples, how can I comfortably lie back and level up in the future?" Su North then showed a confident look, indicating, "To restore the glory of our sword sect, rest assured everyone, I, Su North, will definitely run this event beautifully, leading our sword sect to a higher level." Eighth junior sister, as a devoted fan of Su North, immediately starts cheering for Su North. "Senior brother, I believe you can do it. Senior brother, come on, let our sword sect shine again." Ninth elder, however, was not in the mood for the meeting, feeling jealous. "Sister, today you are full of the scent of fifth senior brother. Moreover, she even changed into such a nice outfit. Among the entire sect, only fifth senior brother would bother with these things. It's so annoying. Why don't I have such a nice outfit?" Eighth elder noticed his sister's passionate gaze. She thought her sister was admiring her for standing up for senior brother and speaking up for justice. "Fifth junior brother, even if you have the intention, do you have the money? You are always messing around with some fancy stuff. The funds of Swordless Peak must have been used up by you. Even the divine items like the phoenix feathered chicken have been used by you to make soup. It's simply a waste of precious resources, senior sister. I can't bear to watch anymore." Sixth elder suddenly interrupted, saying, "Fifth senior brother, I didn't expect that your Dan alchemy stage has already reached a state of perfection." Upon hearing this, Su North was taken aback and said, "Junior brother, why are you saying this? I haven't practiced Dan alchemy." "Then what else could it be if not Dan alchemy that's causing such thick green smoke at Swordless Peak? I have a disciple feedback system that provides feedback multiplied by 10,000. But every female disciple wants to crush me to dust." "No, I had just started the meeting when a disciple informed me that my family's ancestral grave was on fire. And the person who set the fire was my obedient disciple, xianxia." I broke out in a cold sweat at his words because at the ancestral tomb in the back mountain, I still have a celestial pig worth tens of thousands of silver taels, which is all my property. I was planning to use it to recruit more outstanding female disciples, so that I could have a more comfortable future. A fragrant smell wafted into Lao Lu's nose. "This is the roasted suckling pig calling out to me." Upon hearing the three words roasted suckling pig, I can no longer resist. I immediately rushed to Swordless Peak. "My pig, I've spent a fortune traveling all this way. The entire Swordless Peak is in chaos." When Su North and the other elders arrived, the ground was covered with fragrant roasted celestial pig. Lao Lu on the side picked up a roasted pig leg. He then savored it deliciously on the side. It would be even more delicious with some cumin added. Su North, on the other hand, was regretful on the side. "Oh my pig, my money, I'm so stupid. I only knew to have torches ready for disciple when it got dark. Didn't expect trouble with a few pigs. Next time fifth senior brother needs to count pigs, find me. I will definitely sprinkle more cumin for them." Su North, who never lets a single one go missing, was infuriated at these words and gritted his teeth. Big senior sister is quite troubled. If Su North really goes to reflect on his actions, who will handle the fundraising and organize the recruitment ceremony? Let that single-minded Azure robe go? What a joke. The priority is to find a scapegoat like Little North. What about your female disciple? Startled behind the rocks, xianxia heard the words and was surprised that this woman actually wants me to take the blame. What should I do? No, I have to stay calm and observe the situation. If all else fails, just throw all the blame on Su North. At this time, Su North was still immersed in the sorrow of losing 50,000 taels of silver. The second elder on the side thought that Su North was deliberately evading responsibility and trying to escape punishment. Destroying the ancestral grave is a serious offense. She immediately wanted to send Su North to reflect on her actions at the cliff-facing wall for several decades. As Su North's little fangirl, 8th junior sister stepped forward on the spot to speak up for Su North. The ancestral grave wasn't burned by senior brother, so how could he be blamed? 9th elder felt a bit jealous seeing how close his sister was with Su North. How could he have a chance with senior brother if he didn't separate them? She drew her sword directly, taking on a righteous and stern attitude, saying that desecrating ancestors' graves is a heinous crime that cannot be forgiven by anyone. Upon hearing his younger sister say this, she immediately frowned and pulled her younger sister aside, preparing for a big showdown. Junior brother, quickly hand over that female disciple. Everyone is waiting for Su North to hold that disciple accountable. Only 9th elder is preoccupied with thoughts of senior brother. He also needs to figure out a way to burn incense so that he can be with senior brother day and night. In the future, their daughter will be named Su Lan, and their son will be named Su Big. After hearing the conversation of the crowd, Xiao Ruoqing hid behind a rock, looking very nervous. However, when she heard Su North say that everything had nothing to do with her, she was instantly pulled back to reality. The fire was set by the master for the disciple. At this moment Su North thought, what a joke. I've been relying on plucking the wool from the disciple in this life. How could I let her give up cultivation and face the wall for decades? Moreover, that profligate thing is the chosen one of fate. Whatever she does, there must be her reasons. Su North stepped forward when the girl was in danger, and took her in as a disciple. However, the girl actually wanted to deceive her master and destroy her ancestors. She even set fire to her family's ancestral grave. Su North not only did not blame her, but also took the initiative to take responsibility for this matter. Just because he has the highest disciple feedback system disciple, simply cultivating qi and sensing his own cultivation level will increase by a large margin. At this moment Xianxia saw Su North admitting to himself, and was just about to make a move again. Su North then pretended to be mysterious and said, "Aren't you curious why I want to burn ancestral graves?" Later Su North once again shot a sword qi towards the ancestral graves. The next moment, everyone's swords became uncontrollable. Every sword seemed to be drawn toward the ancestral graves and flew into the air. With a loud bang, the ancestral grave actually exploded, followed by an extraordinary treasure sword appearing in the smoke. At this moment, a look of shock appeared on everyone's faces. Su North's heart is also filled with confusion at this moment. But he remained calm and composed in front of everyone, saying, burning the ancestral grave was to retrieve the long-lost treasure of the sword sect, the verdant float sword. Everyone instantly showed great respect towards Su North. With the verdant float sword in hand, the sword sect's position among the major sects will rise to new heights. Xianxia naturally had nothing to say. After all, compared to the verdant float sword, even blowing up the entire swordless peak would be insignificant. At this time Su North also noticed Xiao Ruoqing master hiding behind the rock. Qing'er's clothes were burned just now. She really had no way to come out and meet anyone. Xiao Ruoqing originally thought that she would be severely reprimanded. Unexpectedly, Su North gently covered her with a coat. Xiao Ruoqing was at a loss for a moment. Why are you protecting me? I am harming you, aren't I? Xianxia responded discontentedly. Since you already knew that the sect's precious treasure was here, why didn't you inform us in advance? Others are also very curious. They searched for hundreds of years without finding the verdant float sword, but now Su North has brought it out with just one stroke of fire. Su North naturally can't say he was tricked by the system, so he just casually brushed it off. He shifted everyone's attention to the verdant float sword. Everyone tried to see who could pull it out. Big senior sister immediately became interested upon hearing this. She pushed away Su North in one go, wanting to give it a try. But she used all her strength. The verdant float sword remained steadfast. When everyone saw that not even the Grand Elder could handle it, they immediately gave up the idea of drawing their swords. After all, it is the treasure of the sword sect. Perhaps only the master is qualified to wield it. At this time, two disciples rushed over in a panic to report. Sixth Elder didn't know what happened. He suddenly went crazy and tried to burn the ancestral tombs of Sword Peak. This scared Second Elder, who immediately rushed to Sword Peak at a speed of 180 kilometers per hour. By the time she arrived, it was already half burned and there was no chance of saving it. Senior Sister Swordless Peak's ancestral gravesite can produce the verdant float sword. The feng shui of Sword Peak's ancestral gravesite is much better than that of Swordless Peak. There must be even more powerful treasures below Sword Peak, compared to the verdant float sword. Xianxia thought that June No Evil's words seemed to make sense. It's possible that beneath each ancestral grave site in the sect, there is a treasure. From afar came the furious roar of Big Senior Sister. June No Evil, stop immediately. How dare you burn the ancestral graves? Upon seeing this, Xianxia immediately said, it was me who instructed him to burn it. June No Evil, I didn't expect Big Senior Sister to have so much faith in herself. With a look of joy on his face, Big Senior Sister, I will not let you down. He immediately increased the firepower. As the last burst of flame spewed out, the towering monument exploded with a thunderous sound. At this moment the whole scene fell into a dead silence. They didn't see anything except for the ashes of their ancestors swirling in the sky, falling into every corner of Sword Peak. Some unaware disciples even thought it was snowing. Within one day, 2 ancestral tombs were destroyed consecutively, causing Big Senior Sister to be infuriated. She immediately sentenced the 2 individuals to 50 years of isolation in the Cliff of Reflection. In a hall at Swordless Peak, Su North and Xiao Ruoqing are currently having a conversation inside. Just arrived at the sword sect for only 2 days and already burnt down the ancestral grave. In a few more years, when your wings are strong, will you even have to kill your own master? Burning ancestral graves, killing your master. Xiao Ruoqing's heart trembled suddenly upon hearing these words. Does he already know? Watching Su North approaching with a gloomy face, Xiao Ruoqing couldn't help but take a few steps back. But the next second, Su North unexpectedly gently took off the tattered stockings. And then he gently treated the woman. The divine sword that no one could lift was casually wielded by me. This scene attracted the attention of the Sword Immortal sisters at the same time. Both of them arranged to go on a date with me on the same night. My usually aloof younger sister even put on a tail late at night and wanted to play cosplay with me. The older sister, on the other hand, put on sexy black stockings to practice sword arts with me. At this moment, Xianxia, dressed in black stockings, saw Su North arriving and approached him to ask for guidance on sword arts. But the next second she suddenly hesitated. Senior brother's scene of commanding the swords during the day is vividly fresh in my mind. I hope senior brother will demonstrate it again and teach me a thing or two. In that case, I will demonstrate it again. After saying that, he casually picked up a sword next to him. He performed the Taiji sword art that he learned in college. After Su North finished the demonstration, he casually put the sword back. Junior sister, have you remembered brother's sword arts? However, usually the junior sister, who can be said to have an excellent memory for techniques and arts, surprisingly didn't remember anything today. Could it be that there is something wrong with my teaching method? At this moment, junior sister suddenly asked, Senior brother, since you can draw out the verdant float sword, why don't you show it to others during the day? Su North suddenly realized that the sword he had just drawn out casually was actually the verdant float sword. During the day, he watched as big senior sister used all her strength but still couldn't pull it out. He didn't even think about trying it himself. Turned out he could pull it out easily. He missed a good opportunity to show off. Su North reached out eagerly again to pull out the sword, wanting to demonstrate in front of junior sister and show off once more. But this time, the verdant float sword did not budge at all. Xianxia looked at Su North's senior brother, who was sweating profusely, with a puzzled look on his face. You seem very tired. Is it impossible to pull it out? Su North took a deep breath and calmly said, Verdant float sword has its own thoughts. He told me he wanted to go to sleep. After all, who else besides us is still practicing swordsmanship without sleeping in the middle of the night? But as soon as he turned his head, he saw someone rushing towards this direction. Xianxia noticed that it was his sister's presence and was about to shout out to his sister in the distance. But before he could make a sound, Xianxia's mouth was tightly covered by a pair of big hands. Xianxia looked at senior brother in confusion. Why don't you let me call sister over to cultivate together? Is there something shameful about practicing cultivation in the middle of the night? Su North was sweating profusely at this point. If her cold and aloof younger sister were to find out about me and her sister practicing cultivation together late at night, with both of us dressed in black silk, she might just kill me with a sword. So I quickly said to junior sister, this is a crucial stage in cultivating the sword heart. It is most important to not be disturbed by others. You quickly gather your spiritual chi, find a place to hide, and make sure not to be discovered by ninth junior sister, otherwise all your efforts will be in vain. Understood, senior brother. I will definitely complete this cultivation. When does senior brother plan to release his hand? Su North suddenly realized and quickly pulled his hand back. After that, Xianxia slipped into the nearby haystack. At the same time, a figure was quickly rushing towards Swordless Peak. Shan Wulan's face showed excitement. Swordless Peak was burnt so badly, it must be hard to clean up. It's only right to help senior brother a bit while passing by. Besides, it's reasonable to accidentally misplace a few of senior brother's personal items in such dark weather. Shan Wulan's face revealed a hungry smile. In case senior brother is alone, it's not impossible for us, a man and a woman, to end up in the same pigsty. Maybe 10 months later there will be a little Su North. At this moment, a faint smell of pork lingers in the air. Suddenly Shan Wulan frowned. There is a woman's scent in the air, but it doesn't seem to be Xiao Ruoqing's, more like his sister's. Su North silently recited poetry on the side, hoping to divert Shan Wulan's attention. The Tao is ruthless, the immortal path endless yet with you. I share this boundless view. Is senior brother hinting that he wants to enjoy this moment with me? Tonight's visit was not in vain. Wait, senior brother reciting poetry to the pigsty in the middle of the night must have something strange going on. Su North saw the silent Shan Wulan and took the initiative to ask, Ninth junior sister, How did you end up appearing at Swordless Peak in the middle of the night? Shan Wulan responded with a cold expression. Can I not come to senior brother Swordless Peak to appreciate the moon? I took a glance at the moon covered by dark clouds. She usually can't stand many things about me. Isn't she sneaking over in the middle of the night just to see the verdant float sword? So I tactfully moved away from the verdant float sword. After waiting for a while, I found that Shan Wulan did not draw her sword. Instead, she looked around as if searching for something. Could it be that she has noticed the presence of her sister? Senior brother must have been with another woman just now. I even had my little tale ready. How could you play with another woman? How annoying. A man accidentally pulls out a peerless divine sword due to an unexpected turn of events. Both beautiful sword immortals actually spared no effort to please the man with their bodies. But they chose to engage with the man on the same night. At this moment, Shan Wulan suddenly noticed the footprints nearby. Su North, without saying a word, quickly stepped forward to destroy the evidence and then said, "This is a footwork movement that my brother recently comprehended. One must constantly float their steps to get through critical moments." Upon hearing this, Shan Wulan naturally didn't believe it. After all, who practices martial arts by opening their crotch? Then her gaze shifted to the stick next to Su North, feeling suspicious all of a sudden. Why would there be a long and straight stick here in the middle of the night? So she quickly moved forward to grab the stick. Su North saw Shan Wulan's gaze shift towards the stick on the side and felt something was wrong. This was the stick her sister had just used. There must still be her sister's scent on it. She must not let this woman touch it. Then Su North made the first move. He picked up a stick and poked it into his clothes, scratching his back. This is not just here to appreciate the moon. Ninth junior sister is clearly here to inspect the house. Shan Wulan failed to find the stick senior brother had used, looking disappointed. But when he turned around, he discovered an item of clothing in the haystack next to him. Isn't this senior brother's personal item that he has been thinking about all along? Senior brother, the moon is bright tonight. I plan to stay here in the haystack all night to enjoy the moon. Su North was taken aback for a moment, then quickly stood in front of Shan Wulan thinking, what are you joking about? If you sleep here, what about junior sister Shan Wuk? So he said, junior sister shouldn't sleep in the haystack. Senior brother will sleep here, and you can rest at the peak grass hall. But Shan Wulan had already been dazed by senior brother's stick and the clothes on the haystack, so she didn't think twice and just darted in. Seeing this, Su North had no choice but to sit down. In the quiet air, a faint sound suddenly emerged. Shan Wulan quickly asked senior brother what the sound was. Oh, it's nothing. I just practiced too hard earlier, and now lying on the haystack feels too comfortable, so I made a soft hum, senior brother replied. Shan Wuk, hiding in the haystack, knew he had done something wrong. He quickly covered his mouth with his small hand, held his breath, afraid of making any more strange noises. Senior brother was sweating profusely. Definitely from overwork. It's better to go to a comfortable place and rest. Su North was so scared that he swallowed hard and muttered to himself, this is bad, this is bad. If she finds out about me and her sister, my reputation will be ruined. And I will definitely be sent to face the wall of reflection to meet with She Azurobe and June No Evil. It is said that these aloof fairies detest encountering foul men. It might be worth trying reverse psychology and see if it works. Shortly after, I stood up with a lecherous expression on my face. Junior sister was right, it's time for me to rest. I saw Shan Wulan with flushed cheeks, tightly closed eyes, and a smile of excitement on her face, as if waiting for Su North to throw herself on the ground. Then her brows furrowed again, thinking about senior brother's falling angle, speed, and posture. It seems like he wouldn't be able to fall on me at all. Afterwards, Shan Wulan quickly drifted towards the direction where Su North was about to fall. Afterwards, Su North fell to the ground, embracing Shan Wulan. Su North did not understand how she ended up in his arms. He felt that she seemed somewhat content in his embrace. Suddenly, Su North and Shan Wulan frowned. The two stood up and saw a powerful aura rushing towards them. They felt that the incoming person was indeed big senior sister. Su North suddenly looked speechless. Do these people not need to sleep at night? There are enough people here tonight to form a table for playing mahjong. On the side, Shan Wulan's face turned dark. Darn it, I've already half unclasped my bra. Maybe my tail will come in handy later. If big senior sister doesn't show up, we might have a small Su North in 10 months. But to avoid some unnecessary embarrassment, she quickly found a place to hide. Then Shan Wulan looked at the haystack next to her. She took advantage of my carelessness and slipped into the haystack. At this moment, Sue North was at a loss and wanted to cry because her sister Xianxia was still hiding inside the black silk that the man casually gave away. It actually caused the two sisters to become enemies. The younger sister Xianxia even directly started to snatch it. Just as Sue North was about to take down the little junior sister, big senior sister suddenly arrived at Swordless Peak. Xianxia hid in a nearby haystack to avoid some unnecessary embarrassment. Sue North was suddenly at a loss and felt like crying, as her sister Xianxia was still hiding inside. Now it's even worse. This woman has always been very sensitive, and now two women are meeting in such a situation. A fierce battle for the black silk suddenly unfolded in the haystack, and then the voice of big senior sister sounded. The two sisters instantly hugged each other closely. Today I went around the library with Little North. I found some information about the verdant float sword. What is Little North thinking about? He doesn't respond to his sister at all. But Sue North now has no time to care about these things. After all, there are still two timed bombs hidden in the haystack beside. Big senior sister also noticed Sue North's abnormalities. She turned her head and immediately noticed two different sets of footprints on the ground. Doing two jobs in one night. Little North is becoming more capable. What surprised her even more was the trace of someone pulling out the verdant float sword beside her. If it was pulled out by Little North with his show-off nature, he would definitely show off by pulling it out in public when there are the most people during the day. Being so low-key is a bit inconsistent with his personality. In the midst of her confusion, she suddenly remembered the purpose of her visit. Right, I have found the instructions for using the verdant float sword. Either one must possess powerful strength to forcefully control the sword, or one must gain the approval of the verdant float sword. How can big senior sister earn the approval of the verdant float sword? Reaching the selfless stage, but the sword sect is afraid that no one can reach this stage. In the end, the verdant float sword can only be a mascot. However, in my opinion, Little North still has a good chance of being recognized. Sue North casually said a few words without taking this matter to heart at all. Just because there are two hidden bombs in the haystack that could explode at any time. But suddenly, big senior sister charmingly approached Sue North. Can North help senior sister with something? Before Sue North could react, her long and straight beautiful legs had already pressed him against the corner before Sue North could react. A month ago, a group of Sword Sect disciples disappeared in Ink City. I suspect that someone is trying to infiltrate our Sword Sect. So I want to take advantage of this recruitment event to investigate thoroughly. I wonder if Little North is willing to help his sister with this favor? At this time, the system suddenly prompts the discovery of the Son of Fortune in the direction of Ink City. I, who originally wanted to refuse, gladly accepted this task. For Sue North, there is nothing more important than finding the Son of Destiny. For oneself, having the benefits of accepting disciples is a great thing with feedback multiplied 10,000 times. At this moment, the two sisters in the grassy mound beside them couldn't tolerate it any longer and started fighting fiercely to compete for Sue North. The originally intact grass mound also became incomplete due to the actions of the two people. Soon, the two sisters appeared in the eyes of the crowd. Big senior sister asked in puzzlement, "Why are you two junior sisters hiding? Are you afraid that I will stumble upon some indescribable scene?" The girl paid her respects to her lifesaver and took them as a teacher. But she was determined to crush Master to pieces. Just because Sue North from her past life saw potential in her innate Tao body. He took her as his disciple only to train her into a furnace. He supplemented day and night with treasures, and in the end,